Doom v Vamus v Vamus Epicureans. This is the Marvel Epic Collection Podcast One-Shot Edition. I'm your host, Nick Smith, and I'm joined by...
Stojr from Stojr Shelf. How's it going, Nick?
Doing well, particularly since we're participating in Kurtis Findlay's Epic Marvel Podcast Reading Club, and this one-shot is going to be our brief thoughts on today's issue, which is... X-Men number 110, The X Sanction. Tony DeZuniga? I'm sorry, Tony. I'm slaughtering your name. I have a tendency to do that. Anyway, Tony DeZuniga on art, with an assist by Dave Cockrum. While in the Danger Room, a villain named Warhawk infiltrates the mansion and overrides the safety issues, causing the equipment to go berserk. But Nightcrawler teleports Wolverine out of the room, and just as they confront this guy, Warhawk, the rest of the X-Men show up and they defeat our antagonists. Pretty straightforward issue, but Stojr, what are your thoughts?
So couple thoughts. Like the first thought is I got so excited when I saw Warhawk, not because I like this character at all, but because when I was a kid, I had a copy of X-Men from 1991 series, number 11. And it's got a great Jim Lee cover. I think we got that up
Yep.
in a second here or right now.
It's got it up.
And in that book, there's a backup story. And it has Maverick fighting this guy that looked like Colossus. And I was like, why is Colossus evil? Like, I don't really understand, kid me didn't understand this. And I'm, obviously you read the words and you start to figure out it's not really Colossus, but he looks just like him, Maverick shooting at him. It's got some really sort of dark line, thick art. So I'm like, all right, well, maybe just the art style, whatever. But like this character just stuck in my head all this time. So when I saw him here, I was like, oh, this is the same guy from, and I, double checked it. This is the same guy from there. So, this guy, his death, and, nobody ever stays dead, but his death is in X-Men number 11 from the 90s. Maverick kills him. And it's just such a cool scene back then, very gritty for the 90s. Seeing his first appearance in Uncanny, well, it's not called Uncanny yet, but X-Men 110 was a pretty cool thing.
Well,
The
let
the
me
sec-
let me add
yeah,
on
yeah,
there
jump
real
in.
quick. I agree with you with the. I had the same reaction when I read this time of seeing Warhawk. I'm thinking, wait, is that Colossus? What's going on there? He looks very similar. I did a little research into him, and while Warhawk is a Claremont creation, this is not his first appearance. He was originally in the Marvel Premiere / Iron Fist comics. So again, we have another crossover with Iron Fist. Also a weird thing, I think this might have been a later add-on thing. His organic steel skin, so just like Colossus, so maybe why they look similar. This is not a product of a mutation, but of a modified super soldier serum that was also later used to turn Luke Cage into Power Man. Although
Oh, okay.
that part I think was later revealed in the Power Man and Iron Fist comics, but it kind of makes sense. He has a steel skin that can't be penetrated. Same with Luke Cage. So okay,
Yeah, and they call it, and I don't know if he gets an upgrade in the 90s, but he called it Omnium skin in one of those screenshots. So I don't know if that's he always had that throughout the when with the original Luke Cage,
I
or
have no idea.
when Maverick encounters him that he's showing off some new upgrade and Maverick don't care and shoots him anyway. But yeah, this was it was interesting to see that. The second thing was seeing the baseball game. There have been numerous X-Men issues over the years, and I thought of a couple right off the top of my head. So I pulled some screenshots for you to throw up there. So obviously we have this issue, the
Hmm.
first page. Then there's Uncanny 201 in the middle of the issue. They don't start off with that, as well as X-Men Annual number 7. This is they kind of look very similar. The art styles are similar. But then fast forward to Uncanny X-Men 325. So this is Joe Madura.
I don't know.
And this is the time period where you had the some of the Morlocks joining the team, and some really cool art back then after Age of Apocalypse. And then X-Men 379 with I think it's Tom Rainey on art there. Again, similar group of people. And then X-Men 444, which is like Claremont's second or third run on X-Men at that point in time. I forget if there was a break in between there, because he comes back to the X-Men around X-Men 400, I think. So I can't remember if this is like continuous or he takes a little break and comes back around this time. But then you got Nightcrawler and Bishop uh, and what's her name? The
Oh, the
diamond
woman right
skinned
there. Oh, Emma
the
Frost.
Emma Frost, the White Queen. Yeah. So
Hmm.
so yeah, it's just kind of cool that they kind of come back to this. It's always fun, like to just kind of watch them hang out, play sports for a little bit. There's been some basketball issues, I think, in that the Epic collection with that X-Men cover from the '90s that I talked about earlier. There's some basketball in there with Gambit and Wolverine, and then there's a. I'm waiting. I'm looking forward to. It'll probably be called the Wedding of Cyclops and Phoenix, but the next X-Men collection, Epic collection that should be released if they keep going in order through the '90s, will be, like I think it's X-Men 308 or 309, somewhere in that time period. They're playing football around Thanksgiving. It's right before the wedding. Some great art by JRJR in that issue. So all that's fun. The storyline in here is fine. I mean, it's your first, like, they're locked in the danger room, and the danger room's kind of taken over. If you've seen any X-Men media over the years, this feels very, very natural. But it's kind of one of the first times it happens. And then the art is fine. Like it's a break from John Byrne. It's not it's not stellar, but it has its own kind of consistent style that I kind of liked, like in the sense that like it was a nice little break. It looked good. It reminded me a little bit of like the guy who did Earth X in certain parts, but yeah, it's obviously not the same guy. They're 30 years apart with drawing some of this stuff, but this was a fun issue. If we were reading a book with this plot nowadays, we might say, hey, it's been done before, but this was the first time it was done back then. So, what
Yeah,
did you think?
I, I agree. It feels like another fill-in issue, right? It's in between things, particularly with the different artists. I don't feel like this one's as egregious as number 106 as a fill-in issue. When they just did the fight of the original X-Men versus the new X-Men. This one still feels like a fun. Good issue, and of course it's convenient to have the danger room for that occasional quick story plot, right?
Mhm.
And I don't think they've gone to that well too often to where it bothers me. The art I do like. It's a little scratchy, but it works well. I did a little looking into Dezanuga. He co-created Johnny Hex for DC, and he did a lot of work for both DC and Marvel, both inking and also just being named as the artist. He didn't seem to be the regular on any book so far as I can tell, with maybe the exception of Thor for a while. But I neglected to put in my notes what issues of Thor he was on for a while. But yeah, harmless issue, fun issue. I enjoyed it. All right, any final thoughts, Stoger?
No, no. I think I'm good with this issue. We're getting to the end of the first volume. I think we got two or three issues left. So it'll be great to turn the page and get to the Proteus volume pretty soon. So looking forward to that.
All right, well, if you guys have enjoyed our thoughts, follow us on YouTube, where we are going to read, rate, and review a full Epic Collection trade paperback on a regular basis, as well as continuing these one-shots. You can find a link to our link trees in the description, and of course, we've got the audio show going up, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, pretty much anywhere you can find those. All right, thanks very much, guys. We'll see you next time.
I'm going.